Hello everyone, my name is rylee, and today I'm going to be telling you about my animation process. We'll be going over my process of animation, how I animate, and what I use to animate. So, let's get right into it. For starters, before you want to start an animation, you want to make sure that you have your script basically fully done. Now, this is kind of self-explanatory, but if you don't have a solid script, then animating is going to be very difficult.
Hey Riley, how's the script going?
Oh yeah, I finished it earlier.
Wait, what? So you redid all those frames that quick?
Nah, it'll be fine. I'm sure no one will notice.
6 months later.
Why didn't you reanimate this? There are so many pacing issues.
Me personally, I went through about
Three
different scripts for episode 1, and it shows. There was a lot of pacing issues, and that is mainly because the beginning was just a completely different script. So, before you even attempt to start animating, make sure that you have a solid script that you know is perfect. Next, we'll be moving on to one of my favorite parts, which is storyboarding. Before you go and waste a bunch of time animating without a storyboard, let me tell you, just make a storyboard. Storyboarding is kind of fun, because you get to lay out your scene before you actually move it. You get to detail your characters and figure out where you want them to be. For instance, in the Unfinished Christmas special, me and the other animator, Kamani, sat down and did a few storyboards before we started the animatic. And this was really helpful because in the storyboarding process, we get to kind of tinker with our ideas on paper. This gave us a lot of creative freedoms because before we fully animated the scene, we got to shape out what we wanted in the scene. The whole bit where Riley is moving his arms and how they're kind of constantly always moving was Kamani's idea. And we would have never gotten to this point if it weren't for the fact that we decided to storyboard it before we decided going straight into the animatic. Which is the next big part. Animatics are the kind of test run of your animation. You want to make sure that you have a solid animatic to start animation on because it gives all of the framing and stuff that you need for an animation shot. It also makes your characters more consistent knowing where they're going to go and how they're going to get there. Unlike storyboarding, I have never done an animation without doing an animatic first. You need to make sure that you have the rough idea of where your characters are going to go and what they're going to do. This is practiced by basically everyone in animation because it's such a crucial part to the process. After you have your full animatic done, this is where you're going to want to start animating.
Feature Riley here. Now this might be the part where you actually go back and redo some of your animatic or redo some of the sound design, or someone in your animation pipeline is telling you, hey, we need to redo this scene or add this scene or add that scene. This is usually done before animation. I just wanted to add this in so you knew, but I forgot to touch on it in the original script, so sorry.
Anyways, now this is a very crucial part that if you do not know how to animate, you're going to want to watch a video about the 12 principles of animation. This is a very crucial thing because you get to learn timing, pacing, squash stretch, all of that jazz, and it's a very fun process where you get to use these different elements and techniques in your animation. Personally, I don't go in animation without using squash and stretch. This is a very crucial part of animation because squash and stretch shows the in-betweens of animation. Oh yeah, by the way, in-betweens are a thing as well. So for a typical animator, you're going to want to make these keyframes. And in between these keyframes are called in-betweens, where, you guessed it, you're going to want to do the in-between frames. Now something I do is I just animate all the way through. I don't do keyframes, and I kind of already know where I'm supposed to be going with it. So I basically just animate straight through, and this works for some people, but also doesn't. I feel that the regular method is probably easier for starting animators, but With the way I've grown, it's just easiest for me to do it just straight through and not have to worry about keyframes. Now, though, I probably should have dived into this first. Something very important is what you use to animate. Personally, for the first 3 years of my animation career, I was just using my phone. And that's great and all, but most of the time you're going to want to have at least a computer and a drawing pad. Now, personally, I would go for the Wacom, the $40 one. It's fairly small, it's not as big as a tablet, but it is fairly great at getting the job done. But if you're more into it than just starting out and wanting to figure out what you should start out with, I would suggest buying a screen tablet. Now with this, you can buy a multitude of them. You can do the screen tablets for Wacom, Huion, or even buy a tablet like I have. I personally bought a Samsung tablet with a drawing pen, and it has worked tremendously for me. But once again, this is your animation journey, so you can really decide which one is best for you. Another thing when starting out is you want to figure out which program, and I would really suggest Flip-A-Clip at first. Flip-A-Clip is a starter app that basically you just draw frame by frame. Now, you could use more advanced apps like Adobe Animate or Procreate, but I would really suggest starting out simple. And this is where I leave you to it. Go ahead and use some of these tips and tricks and animate your own video, and tag me in it. I would love to see what you guys create, and I always comment on the things that people send me because I just think animation is awesome. Don't forget, if you'd like to reach out to me, I have about every social media, including Facebook. I know I'm old, but I usually respond in a timely manner. I think the thing I'm most active on is Discord right now, so if you guys would like to join my Discord, I usually respond because there's like only 100 people in there, but like 3 are active. I also may make a future video like this because I didn't exactly touch on every topic I would have liked to. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.